There will be many people running around that chamber trying to sort things out. It is up to the chairman and the chairman's discretion.
Okay. Well, good morning, everyone, and welcome to this meeting of the Licensing Subcommittee. For the purposes of the record, my name is Councillor Paul Kesker, and I'm chairman of the panel today. To my right is Councillor Louise Mead and Councillor Barbara Cohen. To my left is Amanda Apcar from the Legal Department, and then Vivian Messenger from Democratic Services, and Steve Mitchell, who is dealing with the webcast. I understand there could be some problems with this being live streamed, but it will all be on our website and you will be able to access it after the event. I first have to read the webcasting introduction. I would like to remind everyone that this meeting will be filmed, live or recorded, and uploaded to the internet and will be capable of repeated viewing. Therefore, by participating in this meeting, you are consenting to being filmed and the possible use of those images and sound recordings. If any public speakers on Teams do not wish to have their image captured, they should ensure that their video setting throughout the meeting is turned off and sent to audio only. Everyone involved is reminded, please, to turn your microphones on when you wish to speak. There's a little button next to it. It will go red, the microphone will go red showing it's on, and then please push it to go off at the end. Right, item 2 is apologies for absence. Vivienne?
Chairman, I've had apologies from councillors Tippy Cornish.
Okay, thank you. Number 3 is declarations of interest. Does any member of the panel have a declaration of interest?
Yeah, I do. So I do know the chairman of the Buckerstill Parish Council over there who's objecting, right. But only through a professional because I go to Buckerstill meetings. No,
that's fine. A professional connection is fine. Number 4 is the procedure for the conduct of business. The licensing officers first will outline the application. Then, get the right page here. And then the applicant will then be asked to present their case. After that, members of the panel will ask questions, and any objectors can then put their case. Now, we have quite a few objectors, and we've also unusually got at least 1 or 2 online, but normally one person speaks on behalf of the objectors, but all of your objections are recorded and we do take them into consideration when we're making our decision. Then the objector speaks on behalf of the objectors, and again the panel can ask questions and the applicant can ask questions as well. Then there is a summing up, but the applicant is not allowed to introduce anything that they haven't introduced at the beginning, so it's no new information at that time. And then the panel will withdraw, we will consider the application, and then we will come back in and make our decision. So, for the purposes of the recording, could I ask the licensing officers to identify themselves before they speak, and if they would please outline the application.
Hello, Chair, thank you. I'm Mrs. Handan Ibrahim, Licensing Officer.
I'm Denise Bastick, also Licensing Officer. The lights on.
Good morning. Yes, we're here today for an application which has been made by Mr. Jawad Jahangi of Forest Lounge Limited. It's for a new premises licence called Taru at 77 to 79 Queens Road, Buckhurst Hill. The application was received on the 25th of July and is for a new restaurant and bar serving Mediterranean and European cuisine with live music. The licensable activities applied for are as follows. The provision of live music for indoors, Thursday 2300 hours to 0100 hours, Friday and Saturday 2300 hours to 0100 hours, provision of recorded music for indoors, Thursday 2300 hours to 0 hours, Friday and Saturday 2300 hours to 100 hours. Provision of performance of dance indoors only, Thursday 2300 hours to 0 hours, Friday and Saturday 2300 hours to 100 hours. The provision of late night refreshment indoors only, Thursday 2300 hours to 0 hours, Friday and Saturday 2300 hours to 100 hours. The sale of alcohol on sales only, Monday to Wednesday 12 to 2300 hours, Thursday 12 to 0 hours, Friday and Saturday 12 to 100 hours, Sunday 12 to 2300 hours. And the hours the premises will be open to the public will be Monday to Wednesday 12 to 2300 hours, Thursday 12 to 0:30 hours, Friday and Saturday 12 to 1:30 hours, and Sunday 12 to 23:30 hours. Please note all responsible authorities have received a copy of the application. It was also advertised at the premises and in a local newspaper. The authority has received 17 representations from residents, Buckhurst Hill Parish Council and our environmental enforcement team. There has also been agreed conditions with Essex Police, which has also been attached. Please note that in this report, the applicant has, via his agent, provided a letter, which is on page 87 of this report, to address concerns raised by residents and objectors. I would like to note that in this letter there was an admission in not referring to environmental enforcement objection. I can also confirm that following on from this letter, no objections were withdrawn in response to the agent's letter. Finally, please note that when considering the application, you must have regards to the licensing objections, which are the prevention of crime and disorder, public safety, the prevention of public nuisance, and the protection of children from harm. Thank you.
Thank you very much. In which case, I'm going to ask the applicants to make their case. When you speak, could I ask you first to identify yourselves for our recording and then speak? Thank you.
Hi guys, my name is Jawad Jahangir, I'm the applicant, and so we've made an application for the premises license of Taru. It's a high-class restaurant bar with food-led alcohol sales and live music events. And so the property previously was licensed, but what we're trying to say is that what they had done previously has nothing to do with us, and we want you guys to be reassured that previous historical events, we wish to not be judged by those events as we are someone new, and the way we are leading this restaurant is completely different from before. We also wanted to point out that Queen's Road, Buckhurst Hill is not within a cumulative impact zone. Therefore, there is a legal presumption in favour of granting this licence. And in regards to the application, we have not received any objections from the police, the planning officers, the fire officers, Child Protection Agency, and even the own licensing authority. The environmental health officer has raised a concern, but they have done so without speaking to us or visiting the premises. We have also tried to contact them through telephone calls, emails, and no one from the environmental health agency has responded to our request to meet or discuss the application. So obviously we are here today due to the discretion that has been engaged because of the environmental health officer and the representation of the opposing letters from the council, from the residents, sorry. And as a business, we do want to have a goodwill and, you know, a good connection and relationship with our locals, hence why we have come here to obviously hear your concerns and to see where we can alleviate those concerns, etc. And we also did send out a letter to everyone on the 26th of August sharing details of our application and inviting them to speak with us and meet up with us just to see if we could get a sort of one-to-one, face-to-face conversation to see what concerns people might have. And also, I do want to reassure you that Taru and the team, we do want to work with you guys in terms of, your concerns that you may have, and I'll be happy to answer any of your questions.
Okay, thank you. You've got two other members of your team. Are they intending to speak, and could they just identify themselves?
Hi, dear neighbors and the Honorable Judge. My name is Mohammed Shalauddin. I worked in Michelin Star Restaurant, so I came up with the beautiful ambition that has been said by the owner. So I'll be working as a restaurant GM as well as the operational part. Thank you.
Okay, thank you.
Hi, my name is Mihai Valinček. Well, I've worked the last 15 years in high-end hotels, restaurants, Michelin star restaurants. And when the opportunity came up, I was happy to join the guys and be a part of this journey. We would like to do something different and put the area on the food map. The people talk about the restaurant and the area as well. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. First of all, other members of the panel, have you any questions? Barbara?
So what makes you different to other restaurants in Buckhurst Hill?
Well, that's a very, very simple answer. We would like to use local suppliers, and also what we don't see a lot in the area is modern British dishes, which we could say would bring central London to Buckhurst Hill.
I just want to add one more thing here. Basically, we observe the locals, where they're going, where they're dining in. We haven't noticed most of the fine dining part of the business into that area. So like Mihai said, we'd like to work with the locals as well as we want to hire people who live locally so that we can bring in the revenues, not only for us, as well as for the community as well. So something unique, something great, happy people, as well as the happy business. Thank you.
Okay, Councillor Mead.
Hello. I just wondered, have any of you had any experience of running such restaurants previously?
I'll hit that part. I worked in Gaucho, which is located in few sites actually. I was in London Bridge site, which was very fine dining, and the post site. I worked in 24 hours restaurant, which is called Polo Bar. They have 24 hours license. So I understand the license part a bit more deeper, because when someone has 24 hours license, they face significant amount of challenges. I worked in Pig and Butcher, which is another fine dining places as well, so we understand the neighbors. As well as I worked in a restaurant called Albion, where neighbors suffered a lot because of the noises. But I also understand that how to tackle that part, because we're measuring a very strict policies so that make neighbors feel comfortable into that part as well. This is what we are facing at the moment. Thank you.
And from my side, I was running Ace Hotel in Shoreditch. It's a 160-seater restaurant, and we also had 160 rooms. I also worked for Gordon Ramsay and a couple of his restaurants, got good experience there. So I was running Brad Street Kitchen, worked at Maze, Haddon Street Kitchen. So I have a good experience running much bigger operation than this.
One more question, sorry. And what makes you want to come to Buckhurst Hill to run this restaurant, particularly Queen's Road? Anything particular?
So there's not a lot of places in the area. I would say mostly the closest one are in Essex. What people trying to do is run a restaurant like in central London, or have the same kind of food and the quality of the service. And I think this area would be perfect for locals and to make the area more famous because of the food and because of the restaurant.
So, sorry.
Yeah. Okay. Do you want to come back with another question? No?
Yeah, I think
Yeah.
Councillor Cohen did, but I think he
wanted to
was about
speak to that question.
one question.
Right. Okay. Please.
So the reason why I chose Buckhurst Hill was that I could see that people valued fine dining experiences, they valued quality, they valued good service and everything. And obviously as a business, you want to go somewhere where you're valued. You don't want to go into a place where they don't see your value. And hence why we chose Buckhurst Hill, and we feel that it would be a great addition to Queen's Road. I have heard from the locals that Queen's Road used to be once a very lively and a very well-known place. And due to that remarkable stance, that did factor in our choice to set up in Buckhurst Hill. Thank you.
Okay. Yeah, please.
Thank you. You said you arranged a meeting in August for the residents. Can you tell me more about what happened at that meeting?
So sorry, so the it wasn't actually a meeting, it was on the 26th of August we shared out a letter through the licensing authority to be handed out to each of the 17 objections, obviously inviting them out to come and speak with us. But we did not hear back from any of them, hence why nothing went ahead.
Okay. Right, I have a couple of questions. Mr. Janahangia, you now have a license, personal license from London Borough of Redbridge, is that correct?
Yes.
And the date of that?
It was recently done.
Yep, okay. Have you ever had a personal license before?
No.
Okay. Right. Also, I see in the paperwork you are going to be the designated premises supervisor. Is that correct?
Yes.
Okay. You do understand what that means?
Yes.
Okay. All right. It doesn't mean you have to be there 24 hours a day, but it does mean you are responsible for anything and everything that happens.
Can I also add that the restaurant manager will also be a designated supervising person, but we just haven't added that onto the application at the moment because at the time of the application, I had not hired anyone. It was just myself. Okay.
All right. That's fine. I've got a question about your plan of the building. As I understand it, at the rear of the building, your intention was to have a garden area. Now, am I correct?
Well, no, not really. Basically, it's like an al fresco dining, so it's enclosed off at the moment.
Now, that is the point I wanted to ask you about. At present, this is part of the extension on an extension on an extension, and it's roofed in and it's got walls and so on. Is it your intention that that should remain roofed in, or is it your intention that it becomes open?
No, it's my intention that it stays like that. Structurally, nothing will change. It is only going to be internally, so just flooring and decorative, purely decorative.
All right, thank you very much. It's a fairly confusing site at the rear of this premises, isn't it? So, okay. We've now asked our questions. Objectors can now ask questions. So, who would like to? This is not your comments. This is not your proposal. But any of you can ask questions. We also have at least one person online as well. I'm not sure how that's going to work, but we'll try and accommodate everyone. So, if objectors have any questions, please go ahead and ask the applicant now.
Can you just clarify whether it's going to be a restaurant and a bar separately, or whether that is attached to the restaurant?
Thank you for your question. It's going to be a restaurant, mainly a restaurant, but there will be a bar present in the restaurant, but the people at the bar will not be able to have drinks. Well, basically, it's more so food-led sales through alcohol. So it's not purely a bar. We don't allow just people to come in just for a drink.
Why I was asking is because my thoughts were the fact that if you've just got a bar which is extending till on 2 days a week till 1:30, the people from the Three Colts pub round the corner are going to come round and drink there. That was what I was clarifying.
Yeah, I did understand that concern, and we did want to say also we're not doing pub prices as well, so we're not going to be a pub, and also on Fridays and Saturdays we will have strict dress codes to obviously allow diners to feel that they're in a very posh place. Thank you. And there's no what do you call it, like there'll be seating, so everyone will be sitting down. There'll be no standing up. It will be mainly seating.
Hello.
Sorry, could I just, before the next objector, just to remind everyone, there was a condition agreed with Essex Police based on the question that Buckhurst Hill Parish Council have mentioned. One of the conditions was the premises will operate as a bona fide restaurant where alcohol is sold primarily to complement the provision of substantial food to seated diners. So that is a condition they'd have to adhere to.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you. Would you be allowing people to be sitting outside, drinking outside at 1 o'clock, 12 o'clock, 11 o'clock? Because that is the problem where we have lots of people coming, screaming, shouting, fighting. We've had that all before. I know you're different and it looks really lovely what you're doing, but our concern is the fact that you'd be having people sitting outside, drinking late at night. That's our main concern.
Okay, can you turn your microphone on?
Yes.
Thank you.
So Mohammed will explain to you just after me as well, but I do want to reassure you that after 10 p.m. there'll be no one outside, there'll be no seating outside allowed as our own policy, not with the licensing, nothing to do with that. And also, personally, I feel like people will not be sitting outside now during these months where the night is short and it's cold as well. But in the summer months, like we mentioned, after 10 p.m., everyone will be going inside and no drinks will be allowed outside of the premises. That is our own policy that we have implemented after 10 p.m. But Mohammed will explain to you more.
It's a very good question. Thank you so much for that. Basically, before even I found the complaints or neighbors, what they raised the issues, I already highlighted a few things. There will be strictly no foods after 10 p.m. There will be strictly no customers after 10 p.m. outside of the restaurant, whether they're drinking by themselves, whether they're drinking with the food. So 9:30, my team will go to them, guys, we need to move inside the restaurant because the restaurant itself is quite big. This is why, as a precaution, at the back here probably they'll be moving in, they'll be eating food, as well as 9:45, we'll give them another soft warning, and 10 o'clock, everyone needs to move inside the restaurant. As well as, there is no speakers outside. I can assure you, I spoke to the owner as well. So there is no way that will make extra noises or things like that. Rest of the noise, I'm sure it will be absolutely minimized because we care about, especially the flats which is located in upstairs. They need to sleep well. There are children are there. So me and the owners totally agreed completely that after 10 p.m. sharp, doesn't matter summer or winter, we'll minimize the footfall down there to protect not only the business, and it's also the people, because if I look at the pavement itself, very close to it, people are walking by, so that is another risk. They can throw something just in case. They can do something that is strange. It's not safe for my customer either, okay? Thank you.
Can I just add as well, sorry, in regards to, let's just say, a customer finishing their meal as well, before these objections did come in place, if you do have a look at the floor plan, we have implemented a waiting area which has about, I would say, about 8 to 10 seats. So this was already in place from our side for our customers, so they could wait there for their taxis late at night, wait for their taxis or wherever they need to come. But yeah, we have already implemented this way before these objections did come in place. Thank you.
Okay. Would anyone else like to ask a question? Or would you like to ask another one?
No, can we ask some? Online, we've got some questions. Got some online,
oh.
And then another gentleman.
Right, sorry, we've got someone online now. I think, is that Mr. Smith?
Yeah, and Andrew Jobling wants to ask a question as well. Can I start?
Okay, go ahead with your question.
Okay, I've got a few actually.
Can you speak up? I can't.
So my first question is, will you serve non-diners with alcohol?
No, we've just answered that. No.
Is that the question about? Yes, please do.
The answer to that is no. The licensing officer has just outlined a condition in the paperwork that says it is for diners only to consume alcohol. We've just discussed that.
And what are the dining conditions? I mean, what counts as dining?
Or dining will be, you have to order food to purchase alcohol as well. So you'd have to order a meal in order to purchase alcohol. You can't just buy a drink.
conditions,
That's
you
part
have
of
to
the...
buy a meal rather than you just have to buy a packet of peanuts.
No, that's not dining. Dining would be you had to order something off the menu as food off a menu. Do you want to...
I can go through the condition that was agreed with Essex Police, which we discussed earlier, if that will help. Basically, the condition that...
Yes, please. Yeah, if you would.
That will go on to the licence if granted. The premises will operate as a bona fide restaurant where alcohol is sold primarily to complement the provision of substantial food to seated diners. That is the condition that will go on their licence. So that will answer that question.
Okay, thank you.
A couple more, if I may. If you stop serving food at 10, why do you continue to serve alcohol all the way through to closing time at 1? That doesn't seem to me to be food-led. That's several hours with just alcohol, music and singing-led.
We didn't say we're going to stop serving food at 10. We mentioned that we will stop serving food outside at 10. From one of the objectors, she asked what's going to happen outside, and we mentioned that after 10 p.m. there will be no food or drinks on the pavement part. Thank you.
Okay, understood. Thank you. I think my last question. Do you have any evidence that a strict dress code or fine food or stopping serving people who have already been drinking because they appear too drunk has any impact as an effective control on noise outside the premises?
Sorry, could you clarify that question again? No, I quite didn't understand. There's too much things going on in there.
Okay, so you've raised several points. You've raised there's a strict dress code. You've raised that you'll be serving nice food. I note in your letter to us that there are strict controls in terms that the police have insisted on in terms of not providing more alcohol to people who are, and I'm paraphrasing slightly, very clearly drunk. My question is, are any of those actually either measurable or enforceable controls to stop
If you want to come back, I'll come back as well.
merry or other people being noisy in our street and awakening us after 1 o'clock in the morning? I put it to you, they are not effective controls and you cannot enforce them, and they will make bugger all difference to us.
If you'd like to come back, I'm then going to ask the licensing officer, and I think our legal officer's got a comment as well.
Basically, in regards to the alcohol, I'm not sure if you're aware, but when you apply for an alcohol license, one of the requirements are that you should be able to assess someone and know whether they're too drunk or not, and it's illegal to sell alcohol to someone who is clearly intoxicated or is beyond their means to be able to drink or think coherently. Thank you.
You haven't answered my question at all. I already know that. What I'm saying is, what's its efficacy as a control for somebody who's already drunk outside of the premises on our street when they leave your premises?
Right, licensing officers, would you like to come back on that? We have this discussion regularly about what happens when people leave premises.
Obviously, I mean, the applicant has already mentioned the DPS would be the applicant currently. If that changes later on, there'd be a variation to the manager, which will be yourself, Mohammed, is that correct? They have a responsibility to ensure about the alcohol, the sale of alcohol, and to judge if there's any misuse or when to stop serving alcohol. With regards to disruption above, the applicant did mention there is a waiting area to ensure that they can wait there to disperse accordingly. And they have mentioned in their operating schedule about dispersal policy and how they will ensure that they will minimise any disturbance. If any further conditions are agreed today, that will be up to yourselves, but they have mentioned various ways of trying to manage that. And as we mentioned, the DPS does have a responsibility to ensure about the alcohol, sale of alcohol, when to stop serving alcohol to somebody.
Okay, thank you.
You keep focusing on the serving of alcohol, the waiting area. I mean, are you going to corral people in the waiting area and prevent them from leaving and being noisy on our street? That's why I put it to you. It's not an enforceable control. Stopping serving somebody alcohol is not an effective control for noise outside of the premises after they leave. Your controls are internal only. You can't enforce anything beyond serving somebody more alcohol. The rest of their behaviour is entirely down to them, and you have no control over it.
That's a statement, that wasn't a question, so we'll move on to the next
Right,
person.
okay, I understand this.
Question, though, that's why I'm making a statement. I'm giving you some additional context and information so you may answer my question.
Okay, all right, we note your comments, which will be taken into consideration when we deliberate shortly. We have someone else online, there's Mr. Jobling.
Will my question be answered, though?
I can only say, obviously, what we've just discussed, but the police have also requested a condition to go on there to ensure that they properly supervise dispersal of customers when leaving the restaurant to ensure the minimum noise and disturbance to local residents and businesses. So we can only say that this condition has been put. Obviously, the DPS has a responsibility, and they have also put in their operator schedule that they will act accordingly. We can only assume that this is how they will go about, as there's no evidence because the restaurant is not active at the moment. But yes, they have managed it by all the right words, and the police have also requested a condition to ensure that they do manage that.
Okay. I would like to point out as well, of course, that before we go on to Mr. Jobling, it is possible at any time for complainants of a premises to ask for a review of the licence. And that is the responsibility of the designated premises supervisor. But we can take licences away, and we can put additional conditions, and we have done so in other situations. So I would just make the point that this is not necessarily the end of the story if a premises is not sticking to the conditions that they've laid down. So we'll go to Mr. Jobling now, who is online. Would you like to put your question?
Yes, thank you. My question is to the operator. I recognise that you've done a bit of market research into Queen's Road, and the thing with this licence that stands out for me is the opening hours are completely out of keeping with any other high-quality restaurant establishment that currently exists on this street. We have Candor Chambers, we have Gosh, we have neighbouring restaurants Adeleco and Peppadosa now, none of which see a market for the local residents to be dining after 11 p.m. night. And I do wonder why. I know they want to bring the big city experiences to this local suburb, but I feel it's inappropriate for this location. I'm just keen to understand if they see a dining market, especially as this is food-led, for new patrons after 11 p.m. at night.
Okay. Right. Well, thank you for that. We are aware that this is a mixed area and it is residential as well as commercial, and we will consider that and any conditions that we wish to make. Would you like to come back?
Could we just ask the applicant why they feel it's necessary to want a licence to 1 a.m?
Right, so the reason why we wanted a late licence is after speaking to the habits of the locals, we understand that a lot of places close early, and because of this, their Thursday, Friday, Saturday nights are cut short, and as a result, they usually have to resort to heading out of the area and into places like central London, for example, to continue their night out. And obviously, for this, it incurs extra costs such as cab charges. So going there and coming back, you're probably spending about £40 there, £40 back, and we just think that if a local area had a place where it stayed open just a little bit longer, they would not have to incur this extra cost of the cabs, and also they are close to home as well, so they could, as a result, spend this extra sort of money with us. That's what we're assuming. Another thing as well is, with respects to the businesses nearby, they are a different level to us. We are a high fine dining restaurant. We are not a sort of pub or anything in that sort of sense, or a takeaway. Thank you.
Okay, thank you very much.
I'd like to add a few things, if you give me permission.
Who have we got next? First, we have a question from inside the chamber.
Thank you. We haven't touched upon the music yet.
You want to, sorry, before you go on, did you want to come back on that before we go on to the next question? Yeah.
I'd like to add our concept again. We need to go back. Imagine customer came at 11 o'clock. They have ordered, we're going to do the Chateaubriand, which is a big cut, up to 1 kilo. as in steak, which takes 40 minutes for the kitchen to deliver. Obviously, if you count it at 11:40, they have their food. We have to give them minimum 30 minutes to finish their food, though that will be around 12:30, which I believe. And these steak carts will be extremely popular because we are sourcing locally as well as it's a very prime cart, and I'm sure it's very popular. Now, if someone finishes their meal at 12:30, I cannot really force them to leave unless they ask for a dessert. So there is a little challenge in terms of the operation. So if guests want their dessert as well, which we cannot say no, sir, we are closed now. We cannot use that word. Even if we do, and forcefully, we tell them, get out, which is not nice. We don't want to be like that. Now, if you tell them get out, next day it will come to the social media. Oh, I've been to that restaurant. And as you know, one bad negative reviews impact another 100 customers. We really don't want that. And we want to make sure everybody has their best food, best service, and they live happily. This is the strength of our business as well. Thank you.
Right, thank you. Please go ahead.
So my question is about the music, in particular the live music. Typically, live music goes at about 100 decibels, even higher if it's rock, pop, rap, what have you. The building itself is old. There's a lot of glass frontage. I did see your design, but so it's not quite clear to me. So if you could speak to how structurally you will address the noise impact to our residents, particularly beyond the hours of 11 o'clock, that would be very interesting.
Okay, take your microphone off, please.
Thank you for your question. In regards to the music, we want to justify that the live music we meant as in live singing performance. So we do understand that a lot of restaurants nearby, they enjoy, especially the customers, they enjoy having someone singing while they're having their food. So hence why we put in live music into our application for the license. And in terms of structurally, we've got resin panels that will be applied. They are decorative and they are about 8 to 10 mil thick. So this will add extra enforcement in regards to sort of sound waves. And also we will be keeping the volume at minimal in terms of the singing, because it will be mainly within just the close proximity. It will not be sort of like any sort of electronic music or any heavy bass music.
Please.
So just to be clear, what you're proposing is sort of semi-acoustic, i.e. the instruments are acoustic, the singing is mic'd, and it's sort of lounge jazz type. This is what you're saying?
Yeah, correct. That's right.
Chair, if I might direct to the committee, is there any way in which to put a requirement that be the type of music within the application?
Okay. Pop your microphone up. Can I just ask the licensing officers? I've not heard that one specifically before, but there are restrictions that can go in the conditions. So,
yes, we've not had specific regarding type of music, but yes, you can. There can be conditions for limitations on noise and music. We do have the environmental enforcement officer here now. They would be the ones to monitor and advise on noise and limitation and with regards to speakers. So yes, it's possible to add conditions. I would advise asking the advice of the enforcement officer.
okay.
Can I just quickly add, the live music we are planning on doing from maximum till 10:30 p.m. and then after that it would just be sort of recorded music, background music for our diners. Thank you.
Thank you. Could you just identify yourself first, please?
Yep, sure. My name is Nikki Glasscock. I'm part of the environmental enforcement team, and obviously we deal with any applications in terms of the aspect of noise. The condition that can be attached to a licence would be in relation to a noise limiter being fitted to the sound machine. Now, basically, the way this would work, there's two different kinds of limiters that you can get. The way this would work is that one of them, if the music gets to the certain level, it would automatically cut out. A lot of premises don't like using this sort of limiter because it can be quite damaging to instruments and everything that are used. The most common one will be that if the music gets to a certain level, then it just automatically gets reduced back down below that level. So that invariably with premises, if there is a condition in terms of the music, it would be for a noise limiter to be fitted.
Okay, thank you. Do you want to come back on that?
Can I just add that in regards to that, in regards to music, we feel like it's very unfair that the previous tenant has caused a reputation and now it's smearing onto us. We feel like the music that they must have played before might have not been fitting and might have been very loud, but we do want to be resting you assured that this is going to be a fine dining restaurant. It's not going to be any sort of club music where it's going to be leaching sort of out of the premises. Thank you.
Okay. Do you want to add something?
With due respect, I'd like to highlight a few more things. There is no dance floor in the building. We don't have any space for dance floor. Our food menu, you're more than welcome to take a look. I have printed. It doesn't go with a very high volume music because the guests don't like it. And I personally been well trained about that part. Atmosphere brings the most beautiful things into the guest journey while they're eating food. This is my concept, and I strongly believe in that part. So if I put very high music and elderly people are, for example, they're dining in, how they will react, that is important for me. From a children to someone 70s or 80s, I really want everyone to enjoy our food. And our ethos, work hard, also be nice to people too. So even if we put the music, we don't know how the building will reflect with the sound system, but we'll take very strong measurement onto that part. You have to give us the benefit of doubt into that part. Again, we are not sorry. We would love to tell our neighbors, we are not sorry. We are Taru, completely different. We hear a lot of noises. We are listening to people, and each one of anyone who goes by the street, they speaks how bad they used to be run. But believe in us, we are well trained, from my chefs to myself and the team. Believe me, we are well trained. We don't want to bring trouble. We want to run our journey with the neighbors, because neighbors, that brings us the strength, and they'll speak about us. And we want to be well reputed into this area. But of course, we are always here to listen to you as well. Thank you.
Okay, yep, would you like to come back? Turn your microphone on.
Sorry, a question for the licensing officers, just for clarity.
We can ask technical questions.
Yes. So is any application specific to the actual business or to the site, such as, for example, if this particular iteration of the business for other reasons unrelated to what we're talking about now is unsuccessful and the applicant decides to change it to a different business, does the current licensing terms, do they stay in situ, or is a new application need to be made?
To answer your question, if the current applicant for this premises decides to no longer operate, they can transfer the license. So if they transfer the license, all conditions, all opening times, licensable times will transfer to the new owners. If they choose not to transfer, then someone takes over. They'd have to apply as a new applicant. But generally, people can transfer the license. So yes, it can be transferred.
But with the conditions as laid down.
Yes, all the conditions, licensable times will be the same.
Yep.
What sometimes does happen, if a license is transferred, the new applicant can choose to vary that license according to how they would want to operate. But yes, anything that's on that license can be transferred.
And a variation means an application to licensing officers. Okay, thank you very much. I think we've had all the questions. If one objector would now like to make their case on behalf of the objectors.
I'm Judy Scales. I live a few doors up in 87. Personally, I don't know if, I'm sure everyone feels the same, but we actually aren't judging you by soiree standards. Obviously, we're fearful that the conditions might reappear where we had a lot of people on the street and a lot of noise late at night. And we really don't want to go down that route again. But personally, I'm looking forward to having a lovely restaurant. It looks lovely and a new concept, and we definitely prefer that to an empty premise. And we would like to see Queen's Road, you know, sort of becoming a little bit more lively again, and that's all great. For us, I think we're all just very concerned about the late opening because the longer people are in there, the longer they have to consume alcohol with their food, but the louder they do become when they leave. And yes, they have a waiting area, but lots of people might not be waiting for cabs. Like you say, they're local, they're walking. And that you do tend to get people that just hang about and have a chat, and that can get quite loud and excitable, and we've experienced that, so we're obviously very nervous about that. Personally, I think lovely, we'd love to have the restaurant, it looks great. I would prefer to see, I mean, and the conditions about the noise and everything like that, I think everyone feels more confident and more comfortable because them conditions are in place, and like you say, the licences can be reviewed and if it isn't adhered to. So, you know, that is slightly more, gives us more confidence, but it's just the hours, and we are families very close to, we have kids. In the summer, our windows are open, and that amount of noise on the street, which we've lived through, we've experienced, and that, you know, that...
It's been horrendous.
It was horrendous for a long while, and we didn't actually... We raised a lot of complaints in the area about that, and nothing changed. So we are just concerned about that, and it being, you know, it's just a sort of a safe, quiet environment for us to enjoy late at night, basically.
Basically, we couldn't have the windows open. I had to shut the windows. I mean, I used to dread going up to bed. I mean, it was just horrendous. Yeah. I mean, it's not you personally, it's not what you're going to do, it's the sort of people that are hanging around late at night. They're screaming in the street, they're shouting when the taxis come, the taxis are all bibbing. I mean, it was, and it's mainly residential, Queen's Road. I mean, I've lived there 27 years, so I've seen lots of comings and goings in restaurants, and I'd love to have a nice restaurant there like you, but all the other restaurants are all shutting at a certain time, they're quiet, the people going out. That's the only drawback, is the 1 p.m. licensing. That is the thing. I'm not objecting, it's too late. I'm not objecting at all to what you do, it looks lovely. I'll be over the moon, I'll be over there tomorrow, but it's just the 1 p.m. It's the hours. That's what we're, you know.
Okay. Yeah. Would you're now free to ask questions of the objecting. So.
Yes, we do understand your concerns, and from what I can understand is that you're quite concerned about the noises, and especially when people are walking up and down the street. We firmly believe the type of people that will be coming to the restaurant will be people like yourselves who are very conscious, like self-aware, and they do respect other people. Whereas previously, the premises, the type of people that were attending, they were sort of careless, from what I heard. They were very selfish people, and that is not the sort of clientele that we are looking forward to. So hopefully, with clientele that are very self-aware and very respectful, we will remind them, once again, management will remind them when they are exiting, and I'm sure even when people do leave the premises, they will see that it is a neighbourhood area, and like I mentioned, these clients will be respectful. From what I'm hoping, is because that is the type of environment that I want to create, where I only attract those sort of clientele. Hence why, obviously, I'm mentioning the strict dress codes, because I don't want riffraffs coming. Personally, I don't want any riffraffs coming. That's just not the type of person I am as well. So I would definitely not allow that on my premises as well. And obviously, people like yourself, when you do leave a place, you are, from what I can see, very respectful. You would be very aware when leaving the place. So I hope that can sort of alleviate your concerns in terms of what would happen when customers do leave late at night. And I am hoping that we are a very busy restaurant, and when we do become busy, we do want to implement a sort of 1.5 hour table limit, which obviously limits then the time people can spend eating or drinking, as you mentioned before previously. And the longer hours would basically allow me as a business to sort of cater for more customers, if that makes sense, because I do understand that the rent is high, and I do want to sort of, from a business perspective, I do want to make sure that I am covering my rents and everything, if that makes sense to you. Thank you.
Yes, please do.
Just one thing I was thinking of, even if you have, you know, like a limit, if you're open till 1 o'clock and people book a table for 11 o'clock, they are definitely have been drinking beforehand. I don't know anyone that wants to go and have a Chateaubriand at 11 p.m. at night and not have had a few drinks beforehand. So this is where I just think that even if people want to eat at that later stage, I don't think they're going to be coming in without having been somewhere first. So they will have been drinking beforehand.
Okay.
Can I just comment on that? In regards to that, as Mohammed mentioned, the ambience is a very important factor in a restaurant, and I'm sure that, so there's two things. One, first is in terms of management. If a customer does come in and we can see that they are drunk or they have been drinking a lot and they are loud, we will refuse entry. That's just as our standards, because we do not want that sort of environment within the restaurant itself. Forget the outside, just within the restaurant itself. We want it to be a calm place. And in regards to what you mentioned, eating, drinking as well, the atmosphere is going to be very calm. So we do understand that a lot of external factors can affect someone's sort of performance and behavior when drinking. So we do understand that if we do play soft music and it's sort of a mellow vibe, even if they are drinking wine, for example, people are going to enjoy themselves late at night, and then they'll just go home and just go to sleep. That's what we hope to aim for. Thank you.
Okay. Do you have another question?
You did say no dancing, because that's what happened before. There was dancing, so you are clarifying that thing, that there won't be dancing.
Yeah, we haven't got any space for dancing, I'll be honest with you. There's no space for dancing. Thank you.
Okay. Yes, if you'd like to come back, yeah, and then I'm going to ask you to make a final statement, but you can't introduce anything that you haven't said already. But we have a question from up here. Make your statement, and then we've got a question from the panel.
Just want to make a note that toxic people, probably you mentioned already, it happened a lot in the hospitality industry, especially after 11 people, as well as people like me, who are from Asian countries. We love to eat very, very late. So we are looking for those sort of things. Now, you need to give us the benefit of doubt so that we can analyze those sort of things. In terms of the noise level, after 11, I need to see the power level, because Jua doesn't get involved with the operational part. I need to see the power level. If it is only 10 people coming in, when I'm using the labor of around, for more than 20 people, I don't want the business to stay open. So we want to see every single angle of the business, where the revenue coming from, by minimizing the noise, of course. So if you look at our business layout, we do have the backside. So even 30 people comes in, we can equally and nicely, it's the manager in charge responsibility. Let's put 5 tables here, 5 tables there, 5 tables. This is how we, in the bigger industry, we minimize the noise level. So we are definitely going to work on that road. But again, we need 1 to 2 months to see the operation. Like me and Juad agreed, after December, we will revise the whole thing, as well as any kind of complaints coming from you guys, we need to take care of. So we're going to work on that goal.
Thank you. Okay. I think we've actually moved on from questions, because I've got a...
It's my objection on behalf of the parish.
Oh, right, okay. If you'd like to do that then.
Yes.
But can I just, we've got a question from the panel first.
Is it possible to have any signage outside to ask people to leave quietly? No door slamming?
That's often a condition in most of our licences.
Yes, I believe that is a condition. Essex Police has requested anyway to have signage to ask customers to be to move via discretion and no noise. So I do believe that was already there. So that was agreed. So that should already happen.
We've found it here. Clear and legible notices must be prominently displayed at all exits, etc., etc. So yeah, we got that.
Could I just ask a question?
Yeah, go on.
I just wondered, what is the maximum amount of people in the restaurant at any one time?
So maximum, I would say about 87, yeah, 90, you could say.
And do you have a smoking area? I'm just wondering what happens after 10 p.m. if you're open till 1 a.m. Where people will go to smoke.
We are analyzing that part. It is very hard because builders are doing certain part, they haven't done certain part, but I highlighted 2 areas, which is after 10 p.m. they can smoke at the back area where we do already have some bins in place, but we need to find a way. Otherwise, somewhere where we all, as neighbors and everyone, we all agree that this is the place actually people can smoke, whether it doesn't harm the other people. At the moment, it looks like there is a right in front of the restaurant in the corner side, but again, we need to work on that part because we want to make sure that minimum kind of noise, because when people smoke, they make noise. So I completely agree with you, but we need to find a solution for that, and believe me, I'm working very hard onto that part just to find some space where people can smoke. But for the staff, there is no smoking policy, of course, inside the restaurant itself, but at the back, probably it can be, but chef doesn't want anyone who is smoking and they can come inside the restaurant. So we have another strength in that part. So we want to make sure that we find the right place. But again, I'll be working with you guys with that part. You're more than welcome. If you give us any feedback, I'll take it that way.
Okay, and my final question. Do you have any intention of having any parties in the restaurant?
What do you mean by party exactly?
I mean renting the whole restaurant out for a large party.
So in terms of parties, not per se parties, but we will be we haven't considered it yet, we may be allocating a certain section of the restaurant where they can hire out for birthday events, anniversaries, just sort of what people go out to celebrate for with their families.
Okay. The smoking question is actually quite important. From what I've seen of the premises, you haven't got an outside. What was said to be outside actually is an enclosed space, and that's illegal anyway. Okay, I understand you're looking at this, but currently, as I see it, you haven't got anywhere for smoking.
In regards to, are you talking about the rear section, was it? It's got a open roof, so the roof opens and closes, and so we don't know if that counts as outside or not, because it's got more than 51% open space.
Right. Okay. I wasn't aware that part of the roof opened back. I'm not sure how that stands in law.
Yes, I believe 50% would count as outside once open.
Right. Okay. All right. Thank you. Can we have then the views from the town council?
Keeping with the statutory rules that govern us, I can't massively, I cannot change what the planning committee voted on, but what I can say is personally for myself, given the clarity that this is a fine dining restaurant that we were not aware of, I personally would not object to the 1 p.m. close. However, I think the parish's objection, and I support that, would be that alcohol cannot be served, should not be served past 12 p.m. That would, I think, alleviate, in my mind, some concerns around the amount of drinking, because they can eat, they can have the dessert, have a nice coffee, and that a lot of the alcohol would be absorbed and they can go. And that will still allow you the leeway to maximize the return on very expensive rent. Secondly, with regard to the music, I understand the concerns about the limiter. What I would encourage is that one be put in, but maybe with a bit of a buffer to allow you a bit of concern, because I think the noise disturbance, particularly into 11:30, 12, 1 p.m., is a hugely massive disturbance. And from what I've understood from previous councillors, we really don't want to go back there, and not because you will do it, but given that the licenses are transferable, we really don't want to have to go through the job of trying to come back to change a license. We would much rather it be that you demonstrate that everything is working well and then ask for a variation on on your own terms and so on and so forth. You seem to have changed. I'm not sure if I was clear because I thought the live music was till 12:30, but you seem to have changed it to 10:30. We would say that it shouldn't go beyond 11:30 as far as we're concerned, given what you've described it as. That would be all for us.
Okay, thank you very much. You may now make a final statement if you wish, but you mustn't introduce anything that's not been introduced already.
So in regards to final statement, I would want to say that I'm not looking to sort of sell the place in a couple of years or anything. I'm looking to stay with the community. I'm trying to bring Buckhurst Hill back into a lively place where it's thriving. Obviously, this benefits everyone in general. House prices increase, businesses come back on the street, because no one wants an empty street at the end of the day. And as a result of this, I am investing a lot of money into the place, hence why I also want to look at the financial aspects in terms of trying to just extend the hours just a little bit longer, just to gain sort of that competitive advantageness where I'll be able to sort of reap in extra customers. But as a whole, I do want to work with the community, and hence why we did send out the letters, because we want everyone to feel like they've been heard, and we don't want any objections. And at the end of the day, it's the locals that are going to be supporting us the most. So hence why we obviously want the local support the most. Thank you so much.
Okay, thank you very much. Did the Environmental Health want to come in here?
Yeah, sorry, I just wanted to put across the basis of our representation that we've made. Obviously, we consider any licence application in terms of noise and the impact that this can have on any local residents. Now, as has been stated, Queen's Road is largely residential. There's properties immediately above the restaurant and obviously surrounding the restaurant. We do have concerns with the times that have been requested, and particularly live and recorded music continuing on a Friday and Saturday until 1 a.m. You know, me personally, having been in a property immediately above where this restaurant is, I know how the sound transfers and it can impact people. We do have concerns that this would prevent people from sleeping. Also, the concern naturally must be that on a Friday and Saturday, with requesting opening times until 1:30 in the morning, naturally there is going to be noise when people are leaving the property. And we have concerns that on these particular nights, local residents could actually be disturbed by noise from people leaving until up to maybe 2 a.m, which we do not feel is suitable for the area that this restaurant is in. What I would say is that if members are minded to grant any live or recorded music beyond the hours of 11 p.m, which is the hours we have asked that it ends at, if members are minded to grant any music beyond 11 p.m, then a condition is attached that a noise limiter is fitted to the music amplification system, and also that the level is set by a member of the environmental enforcement team, where we can go out, we can set the level, and then we can be satisfied that music is not going to be emanating from the premises which would disturb any residents past 11 p.m.
Okay, thank you very much. That's very clear.
Thank you.
Right, if there's nothing else, then I think it's now time for our deliberations. There's quite a lot to go through here, so the panel will actually withdraw to another room so that we can have our discussions. Thank you. I'm afraid I'm going to have to ask you to wait until we come back to give you our decision. However, thank you for attending. The Licensing Subcommittee considered an application for a new premises licence by the Forest Lounge Limited at Taru, 77 to 79 Queen's Road, Buckhurst Hill, Essex, IG9 5BW, in accordance with the details starting on page 10 of the agenda. The representations in support and against the application have been taken into account, and we have also considered what is appropriate to promote the 4 licensing objectives and the relevant parts of the Council's licensing policy and government guidance. During our deliberations in private session, no issue of law or policy arose, and so the subcommittee was not required to call on officers for advice. The committee noted all the submissions and representations, both oral and written, made in relation to this application. The decision of this subcommittee is that the application for a premises licence in review of the Forest Lounge Limited at Tarru, 77 to 79 Queen's Road, Buckerstill, Essex, IG9 5BW, be granted. For the hours the premises are open to the public, Monday to Wednesday, 12 till 2300, Thursday, 12 till midnight, Friday and Saturday, 12 till midnight, Sunday, 12 till 2300. Provision of live music indoors. Thursday, 2300 to midnight, Friday and Saturday, 2300 to midnight. Provision of recorded music indoors. Thursday, 2300 to midnight, Friday and Saturday, 2300 to midnight. Provision of performances of dance indoors. Thursday, 2300 to midnight, Friday and Saturday, 2300 to midnight. Provision of night refreshments indoors. Thursday, 2300 to midnight, Friday and Saturday, 2300 to midnight. Sale of alcohol on sales only. Monday to Wednesday, 12 till 22:45. Thursday, 12 till 23:45, Friday and Saturday 12 to 23:45, Sunday 12 to 22:45. Subject to the conditions as submitted by the applicant within their application. The representations which were previously agreed with the applicant and Essex Police insofar as they add to or supersede the applicant's conditions. All staff engaged in the sale or supply of alcohol on the premises shall have received training in relation to the protection of children from harm, including underage sales, how to recognise drunkenness, and the duty not to serve drunk persons. Refresher training shall be carried out at least every 6 months. Training records should be kept on the premises or otherwise accessible on the premises for a minimum of 12 months and made immediately available to police, trading standards or licensing authority staff upon reasonable request. Clear and legible notices must be prominently displayed at all exits requesting customers to respect local residents and leave the area quietly. These signs shall be a minimum size of 200mm by 148mm. After 11 o'clock, a noise limiter shall be installed at the premises and will be set at a level by the Environmental Protection Enforcement Officer. We regard these as reasonable and proportionate and will not undermine the licensing objectives. We are also attaching the mandatory conditions contained in sections 19 to 21 of the Licensing Act 2003. The applicant and any persons who have made representation are reminded of their right of appeal to the Magistrates' Court within 21 days of the written notification of this decision. Given today, the 16th of September 2025, which I shall now sign as Chairman. Thank you for your patience. There was a lot to go through, a lot of detail, but the licence is granted with all the conditions that we've given. As a matter of interest, when are you hoping to open?
We mailed it to you.
November? Right. Okay. Right. Okay. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Do you want to switch the recording off now?